Yes, guys, welcome back to More GBFC. My Premier League predictions for the 24-25 season, we found them. I said yesterday in the video where we reacted to the final day of the Premier League season, I said I looked through the internet and I didn't do predictions for this season. And then fortunately, you guys in the comments have reminded me, Dan Lerner 5970, you are an absolute legend, my friend. Found it. You spend a few minutes predicting the table 1 to 20 in this video. So I clicked the link to that video, and as you can see, got a delightful suntan in the English countryside next to a skate park. Classic. The video's got over 100,000 views, but I tell you what, I genuinely do not remember making this video. So, all the way back last summer, before the start of the Premier League season, I predicted the table, and we are going to take a look and react to it right now on More GBFC. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I'm back posting every day on this channel, as well as obviously every day on GBFC. And why not smack a like on today's video if you haven't already done so. So, let's play. Let's have a look and see what's going on here. I do have a really nice suntan here. I'm not going to lie to you. But anyway, we've got the graphics. And who do we put in the bottom three? As you can see, Southampton in 18th, Ipswich and Leicester. So, when it comes to my predictions, I did say that every single team that got promoted from the Championship to the Premier League was in fact going to get relegated this season. And as much as we only got Ipswich in the correct order, I do wonder if this is going to be something that we start to see every year. With who we got coming up this season, we got Leeds, Sunderland and Burnley. I mean, at this point in time, there's no reason to suggest that it's not going to be the same again. I think Sunderland and Leeds, obviously, there's going to be tricky places to go. Burnley, like they've been so good defensively this season. But this year, all three of those sides, Southampton, Ipswich and Leicester, realistically, was there ever really any hope? Let's scroll through a little bit more, shall we? I think I actually did this quite quickly now. I'm actually remembering this video. The muscle memory's kicking in. So we've got up to 13th place now. You can see it here. I had Everton to finish in 17th, Brentford to finish 16th, Wolves in 15th, Nottingham Forest 14th, and Bournemouth in 13th place. We can already see here that a lot of these teams that I've predicted to finish quite low have actually had significantly better seasons than they would have expected. Everton obviously finished a lot higher in the table. They finished 13th. Brentford and Bournemouth had significantly better seasons. Wolves, we got that one nearly spot on, very close. And Nottingham Forest, they just completely outperformed what anybody and everybody would have expected from them at the beginning of this season. So, let me actually just get the Premier League table up and we can look and see exactly how many positions I was away with some of these. Because if we look at the top half here, Forest 7th, and I had them where? 14th. So they finished 4 places higher. Bournemouth I had 13th. They finished 4 places higher. And then Wolves 15th. Wolves finished 16th, so that one wasn't far away. And Everton also finished so much higher than 17th. I just thought Everton were going to struggle again. So if we move forward a little bit more, we can see here. Hang on, let's just get these ones up. Crystal Palace, I had 11th. Crystal Palace and Fulham, I had in 11th and 12th. And they finished in 11th and 12th. They were just in the wrong order. So actually, with the bottom half of the table here, we had Ipswich spot on. All of the relegated teams pretty much spot on, but just in a different order. And then 4 places out for Everton. 6 places out for Brentford? Yep, 6 places out for Brentford. That one sucks. Wolves 1 place difference. And all in all, 5 of those teams, or 6 of those teams, we've got within 1 position, which I'm actually going to go ahead on a limb and say that is pretty good going, considering that you couldn't really predict the utter atrocity that would have been the seasons of both Tottenham and Manchester United. However, let's scoot forward a little bit more in this video, shall we? And if we look here, I got Brighton in 10th and Tottenham Hotspur in 9th. So I had Tottenham down in 9th, which, you know, I'm only 8 places away there. Brighton finished 8th and we had them in 10th. So all in all, I knew that Spurs were going to have a pretty bad season. And I think, look, we've spoken about it quite a lot, but Ange Postecoglou, I think, was always going to be more set up to actually go further in knockout competitions than he was going to be with all of the injuries that they had in the Premier League. But I also think as much as Tottenham fans might be like, oh, we're actually really unlucky that we finished so low in the Premier League because we had all of those injuries, I think you also might need to look at why those injuries were even there in the first place. But we had Spurs to finish in 9th, and I think that probably is, considering they finished 17th in the table, that might actually be the worst prediction that we've had this season. Man United 15th. Where did I say Manchester United were going to finish? So let me scoot forward a little bit more, and we have now got 8th and 7th in my predictions. If it wants to load, does it want to load? Are we going to see this? What's going on? Why? Yes, okay. Aston Villa, I had to finish 8th in the Premier League table, and I had West Ham to finish in 7th. Now, West Ham, I thought they were going to do significantly better under Lopetegui, and in the end, they've got Graham Potter as their bloody manager. So they finished 14th, and I said they'd be 7th, and Aston Villa finished 6th, and I said they would be 8th. So 2 out for Aston Villa, but that is pretty much as bad as the Nottingham Forest shout. As you can see here, we had Forest in 14th. They finished 7 places higher. And I had West Ham in 7th, and they finished 7 places lower. So that is where it got really messy. But then we've got 5th, 6th, and 4th. Not sure why I said it in that order, but I had Newcastle to finish in 6th place. And Newcastle finished 5th. And then this is awful. Man United I had to finish in 5th, and they were 10 places lower. I think realistically, did anybody expect, and I know that people will be like, yeah, I actually called it, mate. I really did. No one would have thought Manchester United would have such a shocking season as finishing 15th in the table and not winning a single trophy. I don't think there's anyone out there that genuinely thought it was going to be that bad. And I actually said within this video that Manchester United are always a defeat or 2 away from a capitulation or a meltdown.
The mighty Chelsea. Man United I've got in 5th place in the Premier League. I think they might have a good start this season, Man United. That club is always 1 or 2 defeats away from just capitulating, falling apart. Is the fan base going to stick with Erik ten Hag all season long?
Oh dear.
And I know there's a lot of irony there. I'm not saying that in like a, you shouldn't be like this, Man United fans. I'm saying this purely as I think it's going to happen this way. Chelsea I've got in 4th.
And that's exactly what happened during this season. I said United 5th. I got Chelsea to finish 4th, and we absolutely nailed that one, didn't we? Chelsea finished 4th, and I said that they would finish 4th. Now is where it gets very exciting. Who did I have to win the Premier League? So, without any further ado, I'm going to show you the rest of these predictions now. We had Arsenal to win the Premier League, which they didn't. Liverpool to come 2nd, Man City 3rd. So we got Man City spot on and Chelsea. So we got 2 of the top 4 bang accurate. And then Liverpool and Arsenal, I had them within 1 place of where they finished. Arsenal, again, going without a trophy. And look, I think I've said this now for like 2 or 3 seasons in a row, that I think it was going to be Arsenal's time. The reality is that they have just not been good enough. They've got the same amount of Premier League wins as Chelsea and Newcastle, and even less wins in the league than Manchester City this season. Yes, there's a load of draws in there. Yes, they're not very easy to beat, and they've got the best defence in the league by quite some margin. But all in all, firepower going forward. You can see here, like Liverpool, Newcastle, Man City with the top 3 goal scorers in the league, and Nottingham Forest with Chris Wood in 4th. So, in terms of looking at these predictions, we got 1, 2 spot on. We've got, how many we got spot on? I think 3 positions spot on. Where did Wolves finish? 16th. I think we only got 3 or 4 spot on. And there's a couple where we're only 1 out. Crystal Palace, Fulham, Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle only 1 off. And then you've got some really rogue ones, like Man United finished so much lower, West Ham so much lower, Spurs so much lower. Like, I'm not going to say that's a dreadful prediction. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this, like, some of them are just really bad, but all in all, I actually think this is pretty good. And as you can see, I've even hit the like button on my own video. Let me just do it again, just to remind you to like this one. But anyway, that was my Premier League predictions for the 24-25 season. And at the end of the day, as long as you know about your own club, that's all you can ask for, really. But we got more GBFC now. So I'm trying to improve my football knowledge so that I can entertain you guys on the daily basis. But I thought Chelsea would come fourth, and I knew that Man City were going to have a shocker. So maybe my ball knowledge isn't as bad as I thought it was. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.